Welcome to Baby Doves. This is going to be not a strictly scriptural segment. This is a segment on lying. I'm not doing this because I feel like I have a problem with lying. I'm a terrible liar, meaning I don't lie well. I don't lie often. I am much more, if I have a fault in this area, I'd be much more on the side of being too abrupt with the truth, too jarring, not softening my language. But I do notice that, especially noticing in public discourse, that lines has kind of gotten out of control. People have always lied, but I'm getting to the point where I just feel like I want to say something. So there are degrees of falsehood. Okay, the first one is if you say something untrue by mistake, like you think it's true, and you hold to that, you claim that, maybe repeatedly, maybe for years. I know I've had misconceptions that I've held misconceptions for years at a stretch, and you realize, oops, that's incorrect. Okay, well, some of those we can't help, obviously. Then this next one is the sin of omission. This is a big one for me. You need to lay out all the facts. You need to tell me all the implications of our agreements, all the implications of your claim. You shouldn't be relying on me to ferret out the things that are dangerous for me. You need to tell me, you need to warn me where this is going. Sins of omission, lies of omission are dangerous, and I don't find them to be excusable. People do, though. Then there are the white lies. This is to avoid harming or causing somebody discomfort. And white lies can be great, right? It can be really nice to tell somebody that they're doing something well, and even when they're maybe not 100%. Now, that's not something that should always be true. There are situations where that can be a valid choice, right? To make someone feel better, and sort of grease the wheels. Exaggeration. Now, exaggeration is something I'm prone to. I love a good story. I love a good joke, and sometimes I'm very playful. I'm very creative. So sometimes I tell my friends, just you believed something I said. You should know better than that. But overstatement, embellishment, these can be great in the right context. Fiction is a thing. Fiction is a good thing. But again, if you're making claims that have, impact on somebody's life, you shouldn't be exaggerating or embellishing the facts. Then there's just the blatant falsehood. This is a clear and deliberate lie intended to deceive or manipulate for personal gain. I don't have time for these. If you don't get any of these, right? One blatant falsehood, and then I'm done with you. It's like if you lie to the police, then you're no longer credible, right? Before the law. I don't see a problem with that. I think that's a really good standard for everybody to be held to and to hold others to. And there are malicious lies. This is where you're just lying because you want to cause somebody harm, not to bring yourself advantage, but to cause another person harm. You're basically hitting them with a stick, and so, I don't see why we should be tolerating that at all. I have zero tolerance for this in my personal life. A blatant falsehood, it's going to be a long time before that's repaired. A malicious lie, if you're like attempting to harm me with a falsehood, we're done. And then there's systematic deception. This is where you sort of build an entire, this is like the con, right? Build an entire structure of falsehoods that, is salted with the truth and has certain possibilities that may have veracity. But in the end, you're just trying to exploit me by building this fictional scenario that may include multiple lies, multiple exaggerations of every kind, right? White ones, blatant ones. And this is something that does not belong in adult discourse. This does not belong in a functional society. It's not something that should be tolerated from anybody, ever. And I have seen, now in the United States, I have not seen this, but in other countries, I've seen people call other people out for this, like strictly, and enumerate exactly what's going on in the situation, and just wipe their hands and walk away because they won't tolerate it. I think that's a great practice. Okay, not claiming I always have the 100% truth, not claiming that, but we do our best, and if you call me out, I will appreciate that. Right? I've been called out many times. I work with children, I get called out all the time. Yeah. Thanks.